Did you guys see my handstand? Anybody in the front row? No? Oh, okay. Well, I was doing handstands on set on Friday with the DP, who's the first female Academy Award nominated director of photography. And she shot Black Panther. And I was working with her on Friday. And she's doing some handstands. So I took some videotape of her and I thought, hey, I'm going to do handstands with her. So I asked my boom operator to videotape us or, video us doing handstands together on stage. And he did it. And that is on our Instagram page. Yeah, so check it out. She's super cool. Her name is Rachel Morrison. And she's so nice. She's just a little girl. She's 42. Little girl, has 2 children. And wow, just one of those people that you're like, oh, that's an impressive person. Rachel Morrison. Yes. Okay, so that was Friday. And then before that, I was working with this huge director. Oh, let me tell you about this story. It's just so interesting because my intention today is I really want you guys to see yourself in this career. It is the best career. What keeps you out is fear. What keeps us out of the film industry is fear of the unknown, and especially now, it feels so uncertain. Right now, you guys have it's like a mental gymnastics to decide that even though it feels like it's so crazy out there, that you should be getting into the film industry. I know, it doesn't seem like the right time. I know, but it is, because it's so damn busy. And that's when you want to get in. That's when you want to start getting in. I know it feels like, the world is ending or the world is beginning, hopefully. I just want everybody here to know that now's a really good time to break in because they need extra people. And that's how you get in. And that's also how you move up. You get in with production assistant jobs. Okay. Now, nobody here is here to become a production assistant. Nobody is here to get in the business to become a production assistant. No! We use that job to go quickly into what we want to do, which is what you guys are putting in the chat. Screenwriter, director, actor, commercial, small roles. Again, actor, John's an actor. Ogu, dancing, acting, teaching movement and meditation. Okay, so film industry would be acting and dancing. Okay, the other stuff would be additional business. A lot of you guys are doing stuff like you're doing writing, like you're doing management, like you're doing stuff out there in the world. By the way, if you're successful out there in the world right now, that means you're going to be successful in the film industry. Know it. Feel it. In your body, you will be successful. What got you successful out there in the ordinary world and going to that job and deciding you're going to be successful and going and talking to people and moving up and learning what you needed to learn, even though you weren't that interested in it, but mastering it anyway, that's going to make you successful in the film industry. And the film industry will be so much faster because you got that life experience. You've already done it. You've already been successful. You know how to talk to people. You may be nervous talking to people, but that'll go away. That'll fade away. And it'll be such a pleasure because you're doing something now that you love. You know that every effort that you make now in the film industry is giving you the life that you want, the person that you want to become. So you're like, okay, I will go all fucking in now. No problem. How many people feel like this? And the Danya's like, yeah, totally, Java, yeah. The hands go up instantly. Yeah. So, my goal for you today is to see clearly. What did that mean, Danya? Can you put it in the chat? Oh, you already did. I think. Grew up on set. Okay, you're gonna know. Yeah, that's why you're like, yep. Okay, so you know how great this life is. Okay, but other people don't. Yeah. Okay, but you grew up on small acting roles. Yes, you're a PA translator for Mission Impossible 3. Kick ass. And I come from a family of cinematographers, but you don't want to be a DP. You want to be an actor. Yeah. Okay. My life, my passion, a lot of extra runner experience. Okay, yeah. Make sure you put it in the chat just because I've got so much I want to do today that I don't want to get into one-to-one on this call, but on a different call, we can get into one-to-one. I think on a Tuesday call, we can do that. If that's okay. Is that okay with you? You can be there on Tuesday. She's like, yes. Oh, she's just like on it. So eager. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, she knows the industry. She knows that it's so much fun, that there's so many opportunities, that it's a real career, that there's millions of shoots, there's millions of TV shows, there's so many commercials, there's so many music videos, there's so much news, there's so much sports, there's so many interviews. I mean, look at what I just named there, you guys. I mean, I've worked on all that stuff, you know. Big stuff, you can go straight into big stuff like Daniel, Mission Impossible 3. I mean, straight into the big stuff, even though you're like brand new. Now, yeah, she has some background with you know, seeing the possibility of the film industry because the image is in it. That helps a lot. Let's see, she comes in. Probably one of the few people here. Probably. Had to get rid of that knot. Can't stand knots. That come in with knowing that, okay, yeah, this is a real business and I can do whatever I want in it. Most people are coming in seeing it that it's a scary thing that I don't know if I'm good enough to get in. But if you have the desire, if you work hard, if you've already been successful out there in the regular world, you guys, you're going to be very successful in the entertainment industry because they like people like that. People that are like, oh my God, I just want an opportunity. I just want to be put in this big feature films, like, you know, that want the magic pill. They don't do as well. The magic pill people don't do as well because they're not realistic. The people that have been out there working in the corporate world, in business, or in doing anything difficult, they do very well. So if you've been doing anything difficult out there, no, the film industry is for you. You will do well. Okay, cool. So what concerns do people have about it? Hey, Michael's rubbing his head. My husband does the same thing. What concerns do you have about your abilities, skills, chances of making the film industry? Chances are 100%, by the way. But you tell me. Unless you cannot move your body, unless you're in Somalia, yeah, you can work in the film industry now. So tell me, though, a lot of times what keeps us from going after like 200% what we want in the film industry is because we get an idea in our head that we keep repeating in our head, and it slows us down and it stops us. It stops us from taking very aggressive right action to actually get these jobs. How do I approach the companies? Okay, so fear of approaching the companies, saying the wrong thing. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, we'll cover that today. Just need to get in front of the right people. Well, the right people, and Dania knows this, they're everywhere. There is no right people. They're everywhere. Every single professional out there is worth you knowing. Yes, because they can always refer you to the next one. I'm glad you're in the front row. They can always refer you to the other person. People are hiring because they know you and they like you. I just worked with this big director, like I mentioned this week. Oh my God, I got to tell you this little story. You want to hear it? Okay. All right. So this big director, okay. So it was Wednesday night, and this week I've had jobs come and go. Okay, let me tell you this too. Let's start way back to the thing. So, yeah. So this week I had jobs come, and then, oh, sorry, we don't need you. They come and they go. And so, you know, they hire different people, they hire me, the job pushes. This is the nature of the film industry. It's just a whole bunch of shoots, a whole bunch of people, and everybody's scrambling to get people on hold and to shoot with them. What does that tell you? That this is not something that you break in once and now you made it. Okay? That thought will damage you because you're going to be like, I've got my one shot. you're just not going to be thinking right. You're not going to be approaching it right. You want to talk to people in the film industry right. That's going to hurt you because it's you got to get there in that environment of the professional film set all the frickin' time, meet a bunch of people, learn the business that you want to be successful in. Give yourself some patience, give yourself a lot of shoots, and talk to a lot of people on every single shoot, every single department, all the time. And vector is just using people and shoots to go in the direction that you want to go. Anybody here can go into wildlife filmmaking. Anybody here can get into travel shows and travel the world. Even now, they're traveling the world. Anybody here can get into Netflix TV. Anybody here can work on big blockbuster movies like Danya. So you can do anything. You can do it this year even. So, okay. So this week was scramble week because it's so damn busy. Like I've been saying, it's so busy this week. So I've been on hold, not on hold, taken off all over the place, which is useful for you guys to see that they book me, and then they release me, and then they book me. Okay, so then on Wednesday night, 9:30 at night, I get a call. Yeah, I get a call from Alex Hughes, who's a producer that I know. Janet, are you available tomorrow? And no, it was Tuesday night. Are you available Wednesday through Friday? Now, I already had a job on Friday. I was like, no. I'm like, I'm available tomorrow and Thursday, but I'm already booked on Friday. And he's like, okay, well, we've got the calls out. We're looking for somebody. Our entire sound team went down because of COVID, and we need somebody. How far are you from North Hollywood? I'm like, 45 minutes. He's like, okay, would you be willing to drive to North Hollywood to get a COVID test tonight? And it was like 9:30 at night. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't want to do it. But this is a big company, and I wasn't working the next 2 days because things got pushed. And I'm like, yes, I'd be willing to do that. And he's like, okay, I'll let you know if this works out, because they really want somebody for all 3 days. Okay, so production's always looking for what's best for them. They want the best people that they can get. They want the minimum amount of work. They want it to all work out. And that's what their thoughts are. So then I call my boom operator. I ask him if he's willing to get a COVID test and all that. And he's like, yes. And so I call him back, call Alex back. Yep, we can do it. And so Alex is like, okay, now we're going to do the COVID test down at Sony. I'm like, oh shit. Now that is now an hour and 15 minutes away from me. I'm like, okay. And he's like, but we'll pay you double stipend to get that test. So stipend is $185 just to get the test. I mean, they pay for the test. On top of that, they pay us $185 for our time. And so they paid me, almost $400 to drive down there and back and get that test. So I got the test, and he's like, okay, so in the morning, check your email, expect to work, but check your email and we'll let you know if you're cleared, because I got to get the results of the COVID test. I'm cleared. I go to work. It's a company. Their name's Smuggler, and they're a big company. They're good. I work with them. I've worked with them for the last 10 years. And there's certain directors and production teams that call me and that I work with, and they love me. And this is a new one. So this is opportunity. Okay. So I'm like, so I show up, and oh boy, it is clockwork. It is good. Like, I meet the director. He's so cool. He's so good. I can just tell this is a big fish. I know. I can tell just by the way he moves and how he talks. Energy, guys, energy. This is what you want to observe. I'm sitting there thinking, as I'm working with this guy, how valuable. People go to film school and try to study this to become a big director. Oh my God. No. All you need to do is be there, be that director's assistant, hang around this guy, watch this guy, see how he's making these decisions, see what he decides is happening and how he sets up those actors. The directing part of how he is on camera, that's all that I saw. But believe me, that's this much of being a director. What you don't see is what is really getting him the work. That's what you got to see too, in addition to this. It's everything. It's the words he uses, the ways he communicates with the agencies and the clients and everybody. How they put their confidence in him. So he's awesome. The producer's awesome. So it was 2 days, and I worked with those guys, and it was tough. I had to solve some problems. Now, I'll tell you initially, coming in, I'm kind of like, I wasn't really feeling like working my ass off these next 2 days. I love to tell you the truth, guys, because, it's this way. Our minds go through this. I'm just like you. I'm like, I hope that this job is easy. I'm like, send me the boards, send the boards. I get the boards. I'm like, fuck, this is not going to be easy. Oh, damn it. But then I arrive there. I'm like, oh, these are great people. This is great. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Certainly wasn't easy. But what it did is it allowed me to show them how I think and how I operate. And at the end of the 2 days, they were like, oh, we're so bummed that you're not here, going to be here tomorrow. And, they don't normally, people don't in the professional film industry, you don't get compliments only in the freebie land, right? Professional industry, your compliment is a call for the next job. Yeah, because people are just, they're way too busy. They're not thinking about you. They're just like, well, you're doing your job. They might like you, but they're not going to go, I like you. No, they don't do that. So, but the producer comes up at the end of the second day and he's like, really wish you were here available tomorrow, but this is what he goes. He goes, yeah, Janet, so really wish you were going to be here tomorrow, but we got somebody good for tomorrow. And I'm like, he's like, so we got somebody good. And he kept a straight face. And I'm like, oh, good. I totally didn't get the joke. His joke was that, they got somebody good for the last day because I wasn't good, but he was totally joking. And I just like, phew, right over my head. I'm like, oh, good. I'm so glad you got somebody good. And he's like, Janet, I was making a joke. I was like, oh, okay. I don't get jokes. Sorry. And he's like, oh. So he's like, no, it's really going to be great to be able to work with you again. We're going to get you, we want to work you in here. We'd love to have you guys in here. I'm like, that's very nice. They don't say that, you guys. They don't say that. So that's 20 years of mastery, of managing my mind, of deciding that I'm going to be a top person. And that was a decision I made about 10 years ago. The jobs will come in. Danya knows this. The jobs will come in. You can take them. You can make a living. But the decision to become a top person is a different one. That's something that comes from within you. And why didn't I have that from the beginning? Wasn't even thinking about it. That's what's so valuable about having calls like this. You'll have these little thoughts that now will be in your mind about the way that you will approach the industry and your life, and you'll go forward from there. Extremely frickin' valuable, because that's money, because it's opportunities, because your energy and the way people see you is how you get moving so damn fast. It's how you work with the best people. It's how you get people passing your name all over the place. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here to listen to this, because I know what I'm telling you is so valuable. And it's also so simple. It's like you already know this. I knew it too. But then to get reminded of it is helpful and go, oh yeah. Because we got to get reminded again. Now, the film industry is so freaking fun. It pays so well. It is a bunch of people that rejected 9 to 5 that come together to do something creative. Now, I know that you're interested in it, that you love it, especially Danya. She knows it very well. And other people here too have also have some experience. But just know that what you've seen, maybe you worked on some reality TV, maybe you worked on some news, maybe you worked on some interviews, maybe you worked on a big movie, big massive movie. And, even though the experience, not talking to Danya here, but everybody else, especially when you're starting, the experiences can be like all over the place. Like when you're starting is when you run into maybe the worst people in the worst shoots. Why is that? Because it's the lower budget. Not always, but you can run into some shoots that can make you go, oh my God, this is how the industry is. I don't know if I want to be in it. Just telling you that so that you don't get discouraged. There are thousands of shoots in your future. Thousands and thousands. So just know that if you work on a reality TV show or something and everybody's so frantic and they don't treat you well and they're yelling at each other and it seems like some people are not complying and that things are not going well, Don't let that give you a sour taste in your mouth, because that's just one shoot, one group of people, and you've got thousands of them. And you'll have people that are not as good. Basically, when stress talks, that's what you're seeing. It's just stress talking. And in any industry out there, any company, IBM, I don't care what it is, you're going to have people that are maybe not as good, as smooth, as nice as other people. So, okay. Seems sporadic. That's because you're not in the industry yet. Once you are in the industry, TJ, and you got people calling you, it's not going to be sporadic. It feels sporadic when you're outside the business. When you're inside, you're going to hear about shoots happening all the time, and you'll get called for them. And the goal is to get called for them consistently every single week so that you make a living doing this, not doing the other thing that you're doing. Yeah. When I go on set, I do this. Yeah, so good to see you. Yeah, no, we can't hug anybody anymore. We're like, yeah, so good to see you. Yeah, so good to see you. And you celebrate. You let that good energy come out of your body. Oh my gosh, does it ever get you work? And just makes people have to feel connected to you to pass your name up all over the place. So, huge part of my success. And you know where I learned it, guys? I know, I wish that everybody could take this thing, but on these Tony Robbins courses, I'm telling you, these boot camps, you dance over, and actors get this thing too, you know, where you can dance, express yourself. So good for you. But Tony Robbins, you wire it into your body again and again and again. Dancing, jumping, yelling, using your voice. And it's amazing. Wiring joy into your body. Very helpful for your career. Okay, let's talk about base, body of work, and brand. So this is the actors one. We'll start off with the actors one, and then I can quickly go through it for any other job that you want to do on set. But the main thing, just to understand this, is that most people are trying to go straight for what they want to do immediately. As an actor, as a DP, as an editor, they're going straight for it. But they don't have enough experience. So therefore, they're competing with professionals. They don't have connections, so they're competing with professionals. And then they don't get any work, and they think that they suck. But they don't. They just are going straight for a job that they're not ready for yet. They don't have the connections for. They don't have enough professional experience. So they put on their resume, oh, I produced this short film. Oh, I directed this thing. I wrote this thing. And then they send their resume off to a real producer who looks at it and goes, okay, well, you've done a bunch of freebie stuff. What am I supposed to do with you? And that's non-get-it factor that you would send a resume like that. And most people are sending resumes like that. That's why they cannot get in the industry, because nobody knows how to hire them. You can't get hired as a producer with only freebie experience. You don't know how to do. You're not going to get a producing in there. And you cannot expect them to connect the dots. Going, oh, you produced that. Oh, you wrote that. Oh, you'd probably be a great director's assistant. Yeah. No, they will never do that. They expect you to be like butter. Like, if the best people, because a lot of people want to be in the business, the best people will represent themselves and they will show up. And most likely they will be referred. Because resumes are just part of it. Resumes is more like an afterthought. You already probably got the job if they're asking to see your resume, because they just want to show it to the other people to show who they're working with. You've gotten the job through word of mouth. You've gotten the job through referrals. So that's how you get all the jobs. So there's the jobs. There's the jobs that you guys can find in Staff Me Up, Backstage, Actors Access. Tiny percentage. It's my reality TV. And in places like Detroit. What you will never find is the huge professional world. You'll never find that in postings. We're not going to put that out there. We don't want millions of resumes. We're going to hire people that we worked with on the last shoot. They're going to look at the call sheet, which I don't I got millions of them. They're going to look at the call sheets. Here I go. Has my props. My real props. They're going to look at the call sheet. Okay. And they're going to go, hey, who worked on this one? Let's call them again. You know, this director. Oh, yeah, this director. These big call sheets. So they're going to call people from the last call sheet or call people that they worked with last week. Here's the Emmy, by the way, just to get motivated. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the big, hidden, secretive world that will never be posted out there. Why? Because we all signed non-disclosures. It's all top secret. You cannot let out what's going on in Mission Impossible 3 or any Netflix film. Nobody is going to know that shit. So it's not going to get out there. And people that do not know the drill, if they get on set and they take a picture and they put it out there, fuck, the whole millions of dollars ruined, okay? So there's a lot of trust. That's why that stuff is not out there in postings. That's why it feels sporadic. But feels sporadic. Let me go live again. Oh my God. Feels sporadic because you haven't yet tapped that professional film industry yet where you got all these people calling you, passing your name around. But you will. And how you do it is you don't get in the front door through what you want to do. Put what you want to do in the back of your mind as the driving force for why you want to work in the film industry. You're an actor, 100%. You're a writer, you're a director. It's inside you. So you don't have to worry about that. And everybody that starts in the film industry starts with those kind of passions. So it's not like, you've got, oh my gosh, I got to tell everybody what I want to do. Oh, they know that you want to do something like what they want to do. So that's fine. Okay. Now, the problem is if you, as an actor, try to get in the door through auditions, it'll take you forever because all you can get access to on Actors Access and Backstage are student films and web series. All the real stuff, breakdowns. Everybody knows that. That's an actor. Got to get a reel, but it's got to be professional stuff, really. Student films is okay, but they need to have professional stuff. Got to have headshots, obviously, expensive. Got to take classes. You're always going to be in class for the rest of your life as an actor. Improv is a great thing. I see it all the time. Hey, give us your version of it. No, you got to be able to do that. Got to have that resume, okay, so that they know what you've done, what your credits are. Promoting yourself for actors can be very confusing because it's like you'll find all these acting people out there say, oh, don't bug the shit out of people. Don't DM them. Don't send them your headshots. Don't do all these things. And you're like, oh my God, what can I do? What can I do? They're like, so they make you feel like every second, everything that you try to do is you're annoying them. I would say just stop the promoting and just talk about what you do on set. Much better with your friends. Casting and director workshops, a good thing to do, but again, everybody's doing it. And then, of course, trying to get an agent. The agent will show up when you're ready. When you're making money as a principal actor is when the agent is going to show up. I'm sure you've heard that, but people seem to try to ignore that because they're like, I just need an agent to get out there because they don't know what else to do. Well, let me tell you what you should do. Here's what you should do. Build your base first. Build your base first. Meaning, base is base of people that know you and love you, and base of experience, and base of knowledge of how the industry works. Okay, you gotta know how the industry works so that you can talk to people. If you're an actor and that's all that you've ever done, that all you can talk about is classes and casting director workshops. You meet a producer or director somewhere at the beach or whatever, all you can talk about is that. You have nothing in relation with them. You need to be able to talk about cameras and lenses and shoots and locations and different shoots and ideas, and that comes from being on professional sets consistently every week. Make sense? You can all do this. You can all do this. So the base is only shoots. It only happens through shoots. It doesn't really happen at film festivals or going to events or anywhere else. Everything's happening on set. Okay? Just to not let yourself be fooled by your own brain that, oh, I'm making progress. I'm going to a film festival this weekend for my career. No. Got to be on set. All the conversations are happening on set. And whenever anybody thinks of, oh, who should we hire? They're thinking about the people that they met, that they worked with on set. I mean, they're not thinking, oh, who did I meet at a film festival? Oh, no. Okay, so the most important thing, connections. But really, it's relationships. I use connections because it's a C word. But it's really, just know in your heart, it's relationships. You don't want to really think about people as a connection. You want to think about them as people that you like, people that you admire their work, people that you like, just like them as a person, that will serve you and make you come across correctly to them, okay? So every single shoot, I just showed you this call sheet. Let me grab it again. This is one day. One day, about, I don't know, 50 people, 75 people, one day of work. The next day, whole new set of people, another one, another 50 to 75 people. Another one-day shoot. I get one-day shoots all the time. You can meet another 50 to 75 people. Can you see how quickly your connections, your relationships grow? So fast. And you never know who's going to be a relationship. You don't know. You might think the location manager, all he does is locations. Oh, he's also a producer on reality TV, and he's got something coming up that you could actually audition for. You don't know. Everybody's connected. Everybody's got brothers. Everybody's got everything. You cannot know. People are amazing in the film industry. There are doctors. There are police officers. There's prior teachers. There's so many. There's people who have traveled around the world, mountain climbers. Because they're people that are like, I am not a 9-to-5 corporate person. In the core, I'm changing my life. And they end up in the film industry. So connections, you're making them on every single shoot. This should be your new basis for making connections. If you're not doing this, then you're wasting your time, and time is ticking. Time is important. Do let yourself, there are certain things that you should put pressure on yourself for, to make yourself go out there and frickin' do things, like a shark in a frickin' feeding frenzy. You don't want to put pressure on yourself like, I'm not talented enough, I'm not good enough. No, you don't want to beat yourself up in that. But you can beat yourself, you can slap your ass for getting on those sets all the time and meeting people. I need to meet people this week. I need people to meet next week. You cannot wait. You can't be like, oh, I don't have money. I don't live in the right location. I'm afraid I'm too old. I'm afraid the impact on my kids. I'm afraid about the family. I'm getting married next year. I don't know if this is a good time. If you're thinking any of that, it's probably fear talking, or you just want a beautiful cherry life without doing anything for it. Then you're not right for the film industry. Now, I don't think there's anybody here that is like that, because you're freaking here, ready to work, 22 people on Zoom and a bunch of people on Instagram. Typically, people that show up with pencil in hand, writing down everything on this, which I see you guys do, you're not like that. Yeah. But but it's useful to know that there's a lot of people like that. And they you might be listening to, they might be saying, oh, the film industry is so hard, it's so cutthroat, but they're not the ones to listen to, because they just want it without getting in there and freaking working their ass off. I think the hardest part is when you start off. Once you get going, make these relationships, and start working and getting calls coming in, I'm talking for the kind of work, then it's a matter of managing your career towards the kind of work that you want to do. I think the hardest part is getting in and getting going and learning this, and managing your own self is also very hard, because you're nervous. You've never done it before. You don't know really who is who and how it works, and all these things that can cause you to slow down or even stop in the film industry. But guys, it's so worth it. I mean, you want to get in the most desirable industry in the world. Most people are psyched out to even do it. So are you up for it or not? So I'm just asking you, so you answer this question inside yourself, so you don't let anything stop you. Credibility, very important, because the more people that you know, that call sheet that I just showed you, all those names on there, oh, I worked with this person. Oh yeah, I worked with them last week. Okay, cool. Well, you must be good. Credibility. Or I just came off of this show. That show in Alaska? Wow, I heard about that. That's amazing. Oh, you must be good, So credibility. You worked with that person? Oh, cool. So very important because people got to feel comfortable working with you. Confidence cannot be, it's the most important thing. Your energy is, as I said, what gets you hired. Now, if you're like, I'm not a confident person, or I have anxiety, or I have depression, or I feel too much, or I'm just all over the place. Yeah, you and everybody else in the film industry, guys. You know, we're a bunch of very sensitive, feeling artists that have chosen this life. Okay, so you're not alone. You're with us. So let your freak flag fly. You know, let yourself be who you are and know that all those feelings, those are good because that's life and those are people and you are in the business where you should be who you are. Okay. So the confidence will come from being like, oh, I can be who I am. Now you still have to pay attention, do your fucking job, you know, show up on time, be totally prepared, knock it out of the park, be watching people so that you're not, you know, interrupting them, you know, all these things. But you'll learn all that stuff too. Initially, just come and watch and hang out. And then watch, see what the best people are doing and start to emulate their behavior. Model them, model them. And you'll find unconsciously, you just start getting more and more confident all the time. Okay, then body of work. So what jobs get you this base? Production assistant, office production assistant, director assistant, producer assistant. Oh, such great jobs. Casting director assistant. So production assistant can get you casting director assistant jobs. How? Because casting directors, they have a million actors that are constantly like, I'll work for free. I'll be an intern. I'll do this. A million actors. But you come from production with people that they are working for. Oh, by the way, I just worked on this show with this director. I think you just worked with him. I would love to work as an assistant. If you have the need for somebody that knows production, that knows this, and they're like, are you fucking kidding me? Yes. So you want to create these situations. All these situations are created by you becoming more, you learning more, you being more and more helpful to other people and their careers. You're thinking about their careers. You are often thinking about your career over here, which gives you that disadvantage. I mean, just wanting it so bad, obviously everybody knows that that's not enough. I want you to expand your perspective so now you're thinking about the business, the shoot you're on, other people's careers, and then your career is going to take off. That's what the base does. All the people that you meet over here with these assistant jobs are exactly the ones that are going to hire you as an actor. Make sense? Okay, yeah, they are the ones. They're going to pass your name all over too, and they're going to refer you to an agent. Of course, I mean, they know them. It's like, no, to you in the very beginning, you're like, oh my God, it's so amazing, so big, it's so sporadic, it's so crazy. But then once you're in, you're just like, oh, another shoot, and 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 another. It doesn't end. It never ends. It's awesome. They got to have this stuff. We got to produce this stuff. Okay? I just want to boil it down so it's like simple in your mind. Okay, now you're working as assistant. You know a ton of people. You're making like $3,000 a month. Okay, not a lot of money. But so what? It's about, you know, getting in there and meeting people. Now you actually got to get experience doing what you want to do. Acting or directing. Okay, directors direct, don't they? They're not like, someday I want to be a director. I haven't directed anything but some. No. That's not going to work for your base. They're not going to be impressed with you. But you're like, oh yeah, I'm working as a production assistant, but I'm directing this thing this weekend. I'm so excited. Oh, I want to talk to the second AC. Now, you're going to find people on these big shoots that you're working on while you're creating your base that are second ACs, second ADs, first ACs, focus pullers, right? They're people that are moving up to be DPs. They are the perfect people to work with you on your spec shoot on the weekend. You're an up-and-coming director. They're up-and-coming DP. There's up-and-coming writers. Your job is to seek them out as you're creating your base.
Make sense? Yeah. Okay. So you got to be doing it. Now you're going to be working as a production assistant, office, when anything comes in, shoot, 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 shoot. Whatever that comes in, you're doing it, you're doing it, you're doing it. And then on your time, you're going to be working really hard, on the weekends, you go and you shoot something. Maybe you act in it. Maybe you jump on something that somebody else is doing and you act in it. Or you write something, or you direct it, or you do production design, or you do sound, or you do stunts, or you do the voiceover. Hey, I can do voiceover on that. When you're here creating your base, you're constantly going, hey, what are you working on? What's exciting? What have you been doing for your career? What's your goals? Talk about other people's career. They will start talking about that. And then they'll be like, then you'll talk about that time, the next day, the next day, the next day, all day long. And then they will call you and they will help you create your own body of work. Because guess what? It's all filmmaking. Everything that you do works with what they want to do. And you can work together. So now you create a body of work with professionals. Over here, all you got is actors access. These people that you're auditioning for, they're trying to get in the business themselves. Yeah, they're good, they're nice people. They probably will, some of them will get in the business. But over here, you got a lot of people that are already in the business. And again, those magical ones are the second ACs, the second ADs. Okay, they're magical. Because the director who's directing Mission Impossible 3, yeah, you can work as a director assistant to him, but it's kind of a long shot. He's kind of too high. She's too high for you right now. Just erase that one and go for the people that are doing stuff that can work with you, that you're at that level. You will be that level eventually. And that could be very quickly. So we're just being smart about it. We're using the film industry the way that it actually works. Everybody's using shoots to get somewhere. Everybody's connecting and making relationships with other people to get somewhere for their own careers. And you are also. And everybody knows that you're not there as a production assistant to be a production. Everybody knows you're an actor, you're a director, you're a writer. They may not talk about it with you. It's your job to open up the conversations with them, to find out what they're doing and make friends. Don't try to shove what you want to do into their life and make them try to remember you and give you the card and slow down. Instead, make friends. So much easier and takes the pressure off of you. And what will happen is that they will remember you because you're like a cool person. Oh, she's also an actor. I love her. She helped me out right when I needed her, open the door for me when I was trying to push the cart through, and then I dropped the battery and she helped me find AC, and I love her. She's so sweet. She's so nice. Oh, by the way, she's from blah, blah, blah. It's just a bunch of people. Okay. And from this, you can get roles. Now, when you're building your body work, expect that you're not going to make much money then because you're working on the lower budget stuff, the spec stuff that the professionals are doing. That's fine. You just want it. You just want it. Make those mistakes. Love to say that because you will, and I have, and we all will. Expect to make mistakes. Expect you're not going to be perfect. Okay, you have to make the mistake in order to know, oh boy, I got to prep that better next time. I got to ask that question next time. That's how you get good. So we make millions of mistakes. Millions. I've made millions, millions, millions. Little ones, a couple, really bad. Big ones, couple, big ones. Yep, don't like them. Wish it didn't happen. Almost made me throw up. Yep, It will happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to direct. Every single person on set has fucked up. We care so much about what we're doing that it hurts so bad when it happens. It's devastating. That's because we care so much. Okay, but that's good. The regular world, the corporate world, not so much. You're like, oh, fuck this job and leave. You don't care. I mean, you do and you don't. You're more scared for your own security than anything. But the film industry, you care. Every single thing, you care so much. It tells you a lot, doesn't it? Okay. Credits. Yeah, important. Yeah, Now, for me, I do commercials. My credits this year is Damien Chazelle, who won an Oscar for La La Land, who worked First Man with Ryan Gosling. Big, 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 big director. Keep working with him. Because we actually did something that we shot as a small film that went on IMDb. But commercials, there's no credits. It's just a bunch of commercials. IMDb does not track it. But what I want to tell you is it does not matter. Because people hire me based on my reputation and they know me, and the same people work again and again and again. So don't worry so much about the credits. When you do get into feature films, you will just naturally build them. This is going to be something you're like, oh, I got to get them. And then once you are working, you're just going to be like, oh, I guess I just added that credit again. Oh, God, I just got, oh, look at my IMDb. There's a lot of credits there. So you're going to forget about it. It's not that big of a deal. And then what I want to ask actors to consider, in addition to acting, consider adding a second craft. You don't have to, but if you do, you can be on set every week. If you don't, then you have to do it the more traditional way, which is just the auditioning. It's just much harder. And since you have such a base here, and people that know you and love you as an actor, or as a production assistant, they know you and they also know you're an actor, but you have such a base here because you're working all the time, might as well triple your income and start working in a craft where you can make like $650 for 12 hours of work. Because these people will hire you for those jobs if you know how to do them. How you learn how to do them? On set, because you'll work in those departments and you'll help out and eventually you will learn them. So I would say if you want a great life, work in front of the camera, work behind the camera. And then eventually, if you want to go completely in front of the camera, great. Or completely behind the camera, great. Or continue to do both. I know people that do both, that have been doing that for 20 years. The main thing that we want is a great life. So keep that in mind, and it takes the pressure off. I gotta be the best actor, Oscar nominated. You can have it as a goal, but great life will allow you to be open, to have conversations, to be learning and growing all the time, which is what opens all these doors for these acting roles that you want. Counterintuitive. When you go straight for it, you don't get it. When you meet a bunch of people, make a bunch of friends, talk about it, do the right things. It's the sprinklers going off. Then you get it. And it's really coming down from all your relationships. And you also relax because you're like, I know this business now. Okay, helpful? Good? Yeah? Base body of work, brand. So for whatever you want to do, people go for DP work, people go for editing work, they're trying to get in the front door. I'm not good enough. I'm competing against all these people. Right! Stop doing that. Create your base first. Start working as production assistant, director assistant, producer assistant. If you're like an editor, do I really want to work as a producer assistant? Yes, learn production. Learn all about the business you want to be successful in because producers hire editors. Then you get introduced to the editorial from the producer that you know very well. Not one producer, lots of producers. So create the base first. And then you can create the body of work. Where does the body of work come from? From the base. And then you will very quickly create a brand. How much time will it take? Well, most people, this takes years when they go straight for what they want to do. Years and years and years, and they don't get very far. Creating a base, you could start it next week. It's so busy right now. Oh, we're going to have a break, Christmas until New Year's. There's a break. Although there are people that are working in between there too. There are no rules. I've already got 2 jobs in January. Right off the bat, that very first week, it's going to be frickin' busy next year. I mean, in 2 weeks, it's going to be very busy. Okay, so yeah, you can be creating the space right now. Now, if you're thinking, I'm in Chicago, so what? Chicago's busy. I'm in Orlando. Orlando's busy. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. That's fine. There's interviews. There's always work in these small cities too that get you started so you can move to a bigger city. Never use an excuse. Oh, I live in the middle of nowhere. You can drive 3 hours around. I drive an hour and a half into LA all the time. Okay. And you've got interviews. You got corporate video. Don't you? Yeah, there's companies there. There's the church. You got churches. You got events. All these things give you experience, hands on the equipment, setting up the C-stand, thinking about the process, the wrapping, the pre-production. It's similar. You can use it. Then you move to Atlanta or Chicago or New York City or London or Toronto or Vancouver. or LA, and you're like, oh yeah, I was working in this, I've done this, I've set up that, I've worked with that soundboard, I work with that camera. And they're like, oh, okay, that's great. Well, welcome to LA. Sounds like you have been busy. You're a good one.